You guys ready for the end of the Republic?
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're going to make, that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them.
Yeah, it might actually be over. Like, it might actually genuinely be over. I don't know what to say. Like, the main reason children get vaccines is because they're obligated to before they attend public school. That's like the main social incentive for vaccinating your children. The vaccination rate in Florida is going to plummet. I took my kid to the doctor yesterday and they said we can't vaccinate her for COVID because of the Fed. That's great.
Yeah.
American Lysenkoism, man.
Yeah. Every last one of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Every last one of them.
I know. So you keep saying. If Florida's bordering states were based, they'd require vaccine mandates for anyone crossing state lines. Yeah, I don't think that Alabama and Georgia are gonna muster that energy anytime soon, I'm afraid. Also, like, keep in mind, do you have any idea how many people visit Disney World every year? Florida's one of the most touristed states, up there with New York and California. New pandemic, get ready. It's gonna be old pandemics, man. It's gonna be the old ones. Announces State Maha Commission. Read the article for a bit. He compares vaccinations to slavery. Yeah, I saw the thing. Equating vaccine mandates with slavery. That's why they got a black guy to do this. Joseph Ladapo, the state surgeon general who has a history of promoting health-related misinformation, said the Florida DOH and the governor's office would work together to end every single vaccine mandate. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery, Ladapo said. Yay. Why are they like this? Like Senkoism. Hey, listen, if the Soviet Union was willing to create mass starvation as a consequence of remaining ideologically pure with their crop cultivation, you don't think that MAGA would be willing to create new plagues in order to remain consistent with their principled anti-empirical, anti-science positions? We're going way the back. God, look at how far things have already fallen. This past year, more than 760 people were infected with measles in West Texas, where kindergarten vaccination rates were 82%, far below the levels needed for herd immunity, which is around 93%. Remember that interview that one of the parents of that child got? The kid who died, I think? And the parent was like, no, we still prefer this to them getting autism. That was cool. Immunization rates among Florida kindergartners have dropped significantly over the last 5 years. In 2020, 93.5% of kindergartners were vaccinated. In 2024, that number's dropped to 89.8%, which is massive. That's like a 50% increase in the number of unvaccinated people, from 6.5 percentage points to 10.2 percentage points.
We've got a great life, and it is not every living human being in this country, on the planet, in this insanity. And, and just thank God. And we forget so often, we forget too much as human beings. And I guess it's the human condition, right? I mean,
is this guy drunk? He's a lunatic. This guy is a known lunatic. This guy is a deranged anti-science grifter who has used his position to boost misinformation basically nonstop 24/7. He is not well. He is not sane.
Sometimes it's great when we forget things that weren't so good, and maybe sometimes it hurts us a little bit that we forget things that were really, really good. And what was exceptional is how Governor DeSantis basically single-handedly saved the country and, frankly, maybe the world by serving as a single, by serving as the single example of something that would get us to a place where we are now, where everything is, heading in a better direction. Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body, is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't
It's
have.
so weird that when historians are picking apart the ruins of Western civilization, at least American civilization, one of the big causes, or at least one of the big like ideological through lines they're going to be picking apart, is the parental choice slash personal choice movement. You know, like the funny thing is that these people all idealize societies where people have very little individual choice. Like these Hitlerites want to live in a society where the government has absolute power over you, but they also want to live in a society where you can endanger everyone around you because you don't want your kid to get autism from the vaccinations that don't give you autism. You know, it's complete. It's totally incompatible. But they take the worst from both sides. You get the authoritarianism and you get the deranged personal choice making.
That right. Government does not have that right. They want you to believe they have that right. And unfortunately, they've been successful. They've been successful. Pretty much every state has them. It's wrong. It's immoral. They do not have the right to tell you what you put in your body. They don't have the right to tell you what your kids have to put in your body. They do not have the right. Do not give it to them. Take it away from them. And we're going to be starting that here in Florida. And I love our lawmakers. Obviously, they make the machinery of our laws. Our governor reviews. We work in collaboration. He signs. I love our lawmakers. They're going to have to make decisions, right? That's the way that this becomes possible. So people are going to have to make a decision. People are going to have to choose a side. And I am telling you right now that,
at some point our society has to address parents not having absolute rights over their kids. They're not property. Yeah, it's weird. Like it is a culture war talking point that the right has full control over. Democrats don't even touch it. The left doesn't even remotely touch it. The point of like, maybe it's a little bit weird that we literally think that children are the property of their parents. Like, right, every year there's a new wave of legislation in red states, especially, where it's like, I mean, literally the other day, yesterday, I saw a story about a teenager who called a suicide hotline, and the person on the other end was like, sorry, we need confirmation of your parents' consent before I can talk to you. Like, that's the level we're going down. That's the road, that's the path we're traveling down. Absolutely psychotic.
Moral side it's so simple. No one has that right, guys. People have a right to make their own decisions. Informed decisions. You want to put whatever different vaccines in your body, God bless you. I hope you make an informed decision. You don't want to put whatever vaccines in your body, God bless you. And I hope you make an informed decision. And that's how it should be. That is a moral, ethical universe, not this nonsense.
Worth remembering, of course, this is bullshit. They're actively working right now to ban certain vaccines, not open it up to free choice. By the way, I don't think it should be a free choice. I don't think you should get to have a choice in whether or not you get vaccinated. I don't believe in a moral or religious exemption, only a health one, and a doctor should see to that. But they don't believe in it either. They also just don't want you to get vaccinated.
Where people who don't know you are telling you what to put in your temple, the temple of your body. That is a gift from God. They don't have that right.
One day we will bring red atheism back.
One of the counter arguments you'll have, and I would even care more if it was actually sincere, is that, well, there are people who, they can't take a particular vaccine, or whatever reason they're compromised, and therefore everyone else has to do something because of that situation. And absolutely, right? I've got 3 kids. I'm a parent. My kids are a little older now. They're 6, 8, and 12. And I remember particularly when they were.
So they just want you to die? Yeah. A lot of Republicans are going to die from this? Sure. Yeah, they did it with COVID. They literally did this with COVID. Hundreds of thousands of people died because Republicans, as a front, pushed against any kind of precautions with regard to COVID. Yeah, they don't care.
Smaller, there's nothing like, your heart literally leaps out of your chest when you're worried about your kid's health.
Literally.
Especially when they're smaller, but really any age. So I understand that, I get that. But that is also that's also part of the experience of life. And it is not right. There's no basis. There's no ethical basis for that to be used as a reason, really a force to take away your ability to choose what you put in your body and what you as a parent put in your child's body. That's your right. And it's not that the world is perfect. The world is imperfect. It's not that sometimes people will end up regretting the decision that they made. And we've seen a lot of that during the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, how many people put that poison in their bodies with these mRNA COVID-19 vaccines and wish they could turn back the hands of time?
See, I just advocate for people's free choice. I just want you to make an informed decision. The informed decision when it appears. I hope that you regret the poison that you chose to put into your body. The decision you made was wrong.
And undo that, right? So it's not to say that the world is perfect, but it is to say if we want to move toward a perfect world, a better world, you can't do it by enslaving people in terrible philosophies and taking away people's freedoms. That's not the path. That's not the path. We have to find alternative pathways, okay? So let me see, was there any other announcement I want to make? So here's what we can do in the Florida Department of Health. We actually have the ability to start that process with what government folks call rules. So the Florida Department of Health, we have some...
He's talking to kindergartners. I don't think it's a coincidence that his mannerisms, like the way he's speaking and the way he's gesturing, are the way that like an elementary school teacher would talk to their kids. That like calming, placating, sort of condescending tone of voice, the over-exaggerated hand gestures. But hey, that's the world we're in for, right? The average person is illiterate or borderline, probably even more so in Florida. That's what we're in for. This is what we're here for.
Some rules that we promulgated, not me, predecessors, that include, a handful, maybe a half a dozen vaccines that are mandated in Florida. So those are going to be gone for sure. So those are gone, and we're going to be working with our, again, with our amazing Governor DeSantis and our wonderful lawmakers to get rid of the rest of it. We need to end it. It's the right thing to do. And it'll be wonderful for Florida to be the first state to do it. So I think that's it for announcements. So thank you guys very much. Lots of love to you guys. Thanks, Governor.
Yay. The free state of Florida. Of course, this is being done in a school.
Well, thanks, Joe. And, now I remember back in COVID, actually, when COVID really hit the fan in March of 2020, my better half was in the hospital having our third child, and it was a very empty hospital and very eerie, and I was trying to be with her. I'm talking to Deborah Birx and Donald Trump and all this stuff, trying to explain to them why I was doing what I thought was right in Florida. And meanwhile, we had our third child, but then it was like, okay, we're in there. We had a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and then the newborn, and we're just thinking.
So there was that. So it was right in the heat of everything, and he literally was on the phone while I was giving birth. And my 5-year-old. So I really applaud what they're doing at the national level with the MAHA movement, and I appreciate that leadership. And I
was get this kid, do all this stuff going forward. And I don't think we've ever been in an ice cream store.
Thank you. I'll do my best here. Man, it is good to be here. Aren't you proud to be a citizen here in Florida, a resident in Florida? God, aren't we blessed? So if there's a theme here, and let's say it one more time, our freedoms are God-given. They're not granted by the government. They're upheld by our Constitution because strong...
I'm telling you guys, listen, what's that line from the Lord of the Rings movie, the animated one, not the live action one? If we do not have, we must do without hope. There's always vengeance. You have to live for spite. So many Republicans are going to die in the coming decades from self-inflicted plague. So that'll be something. You could always get vaccinated later in life, at least for most of them, if the kids turn out all right. They're doing it to themselves, man. I mean, it is difficult to feel sympathy for a large group of people who are engaging in a kind of like ritualistic suicide, even if they're trying to splash you with the blood. Like, I feel bad for me. I don't know what you do you. I wish you had a less viral way of ending your life, I suppose, than this. It's so bleak, though. Yeah, it's more or less like the end of the Enlightenment period. I think that we're watching in real time, slowly, day by day, what will be thought of in historical terms as a decades-long period of time where the liberal, like, post-Enlightenment order fell apart. And whether or not, like, whatever comes after that, however long it takes, whatever else, like, we are living through that. There is an undeniable, unmistakable, over the past decade mostly, Western rejection of empiricism. Like, in the West, across the board, just an overwhelming rebuking of these things. And that's not to say that right-wing thought hasn't existed over the past 200 years. Of course not, but it goes beyond just conservatism. This is not just conservatism. Getting rid of vaccine mandates is not just conservatism.
Men and women fight for them each and every day. Let's give a round of applause for these two right here. So many of you know me. I have literally broken bread and fed many of the people in this room, quite likely.
Okay.
And through our work with OBR, you know how I look at things. I am blessed to be lieutenant governor. I was blessed to serve as a Green Beret, but there is nothing on God's green earth that defines me more than being a dad and a husband. I don't know about you.
It's always about the family with these anti-family people, These people, their children hate them, their wives hate them, they don't spend time with their family. It's entirely like a pantomime for them, I guess it's always been like that in these kinds of systems. The aristocracy was probably like this as well. Royal families, I suppose this is always the case to an extent.
But I will not fail my family. Florida.
High-stake testing, and then also helping us on a lot of the university stuff. And so, you've had a lot of bold action taken on all those things.
If they get rid of the pet vaccine mandates, I'm legit moving off the continent. Rabies is not to be trifled with. I think I literally saw a screenshot of an article the other day where a significant number of people were refusing to get the rabies vaccine for their pets because they didn't want their pets to get autism. So that's cool.
And so when we had to fill Manny's shoes, I had a guy that was working in our office as governor, Stasi Kamutsis, and Richard was strong, Manny was strong. I think Stasi's kind of a whole nother level of just intensity and getting the job done and making sure that we're doing what the parents and the students in this state deserve. And so whether it's, taking on school unions, whether it's taking on woke ideology, you name it. And so he's only been in the position now for a few months, but he comes in, immediately starts disseminating very clear guidance about making sure that, because look, we have most school districts in Florida see the laws, see the policies, and they follow it. You have some who think that they should be able to just be a law unto themselves, and so they try to find ways to not follow policy. And I think he's made very clear.
Remember how I said just the other day that Trump is unique and I don't fear J.D. Vance as much because, as Ron DeSantis demonstrated, you can be like an incredibly dangerous fascist and just not have the ability to lead the coalition because you come across as an annoying anal retentive data nerd. Just reaffirming that.
That ain't gonna fly. And so
that
if you're someone like in Alachua County, you had a teacher that was attacking the student for being basically conservative, saying he was a dictator or something like that. I mean, just like the crudest, most uneducated left-wing, things putting spit out. And that's happening in our classroom. Like, if you're going to be partisan like that, at least be interesting, at least be original. And they're not even that. So he hauls them up. He hauls them up to the education department about, violating parents' rights, makes them answer the question. So all I can tell you is, if you're out there in the school districts, 90-some% of the teachers and the administrators in the school districts, understand what they need to do and are working to do it. But if you're in some of those that think somehow that you can just do what you want and that you can ignore duly passed laws or legally sound policies, all I can tell you, go ahead, make our day, because we will have stuff.
Just always like the complete incongruence of liberal or libertarian fascism, where defying federal law is a blessing and yeehaw, everyone gets their own rights, everyone should get to choose, the government doesn't get to decide. But then, hey, municipal government, city government, oh, just make our day, buddy. If you want vaccine mandates for the children so they don't all get the measles on their first day of school, buddy, we'll gut you like a fish. Deeply Israeli coded Florida is, well, at this point, like all of America is Israeli coded because Israel's basically just the worst parts of America. and now America's getting worse. We're in it together. We're in a suicide pact. I always thought this shit was uniquely American, but this shit has spread to Sweden now. F my life. Yeah, don't assume that you guys are immune. Unfortunately, even the more liberal Western states are succumbing to this, because even if they're not as openly stupid as we are, you know what your governments do want? Palantir. Every Western liberal government wants Palantir. All of them. That surveillance tendency, the desire to subsume everything under like to state control, I promise you, it doesn't matter how much your government supports Israel or how much they do or don't believe in free healthcare or whatever the fuck else, they want Palantir.
Today, more than 1,000 current and former employees of the Department of Health and Human Services are calling on Secretary Kennedy to resign for actions they say compromise the health of the nation. Quote,
that's great.
Should he and I just wonder,
what about
RFK
Florida?
Now, he's defending him.
Vaccine came out, they didn't put by his reason for eliminating these vaccine mandates is disturbing. Let's take a listen.
Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? Right.
He likened the vaccine mandates to slavery, and that's what is getting a lot of attention here in that press conference. The vaccine mandates in Florida include vaccines for measles, polio, chickenpox, hepatitis B, and he can outright apparently eliminate some of those vaccine mandates, and others have to go to the legislature, through the legislature. It's not clear which.
Ann Thompson, thank you.
Oh, that's it? No commentary? You're just going to like front that right there? The first state out of the 50 is seeking to abolish all vaccine mandates, and that's it? Like, you're not going to talk about that? Okay, my bad. Sorry. You put it in the title. Jeez. Well, world's ending, etc., etc. Good thing I'm vaxxed. Hopefully you guys are too.